This world we live in can be very hypnotizing sometimes, and even if we know better, it's still very easy to fall into certain traps. And these traps I'm talking about relate to two belief systems that we tend to have as humans. One belief about what it takes to be successful in this world, and one belief about what it takes to be happy. So let's start with success. A lot of people believe that success is like some grand event, or you have to be lucky or fortunate or know the right people or be very intelligent or skilled at something or talented in order to be successful. And this belief usually leads to one of two outcomes. The first outcome is we think, well, success is just too hard, it's too difficult, it's unlikely for me, and therefore I'm not gonna really try that hard. So most people just sort of sit back and say, that's not for me, it's difficult, I'd rather just live a comfortable life. But the problem sometimes is that the comfortable life leads to an uncomfortable life in the long run. The other situation this can lead to is people think, okay, well, success is really hard, I have to be really skilled or talented, or I just have to hustle and work really hard. So therefore, I'm gonna put in all this work, I'm gonna do a bunch of things, I'm gonna try really hard, I'm gonna grind, I'm gonna hustle. And maybe you reach some level of success by doing this, by just working really hard. The problem with this though is it tends to lead to burnout, it can lead to a very unbalanced life, and thus it can create a lot of problems for you. So most people fall in one of these two camps. They say it's too hard, so I'm not gonna really try, or they think it's really hard, so therefore they work really hard, and then they burn themselves out, they struggle, and even if they do reach success, it's not really fulfilling because they burned themselves out in the process. So is there a middle ground here though? Is there a way to have what we want in life without all the stress and the struggle? I think yes, but you have to change your beliefs about what you think is required for success. So let me give you a simple example to make this clear. Imagine for a second that you wanted to write books for a living, you wanted to be an author. Well, most people think writing a book is like a huge thing. It takes years maybe, it's very difficult to do, right? But I want you to just think of it this way. If you were to just write 500 words per day, every day, and you never missed a day, you would be writing the equivalent of about 3 full-length books every single year. 500 words a day, just to put that into perspective, takes the average person about 30 minutes to an hour at most to write. So if you were to just sit down and write for 30 minutes to an hour every day, you would have the output of a prolific author. Someone who writes prolifically and publishes multiple books per year. You would be producing at that level. Now granted, maybe that writing wouldn't be so good, it would need a lot of editing, but the point is success can happen in very small steps, compounded over a long period of time. Success doesn't have to be a grand event, it doesn't have to require hustle and hard work. It can just be the result of doing the little things every single day and just being very incredibly consistent with those things. Now let's move into the second trap people fall into. This one relates to happiness and what we think is required to live a happy life. So I'm gonna relate this to financial happiness. Of course, there's aspects of life that have nothing to do with money that make us happy, but a lot of people want some degree of financial independence and freedom, right? But if you're not careful, it's very easy to fall into the trap of believing that you need more than you actually do. If you spend any time on social media, you'll inevitably see people living these lavish lifestyles and talking about all the cool, fun things they do, and they're traveling the world, and they're making 6 figures a month in their online business and all this stuff. And there's nothing wrong with these things, and it's definitely possible to have that level of wealth and freedom in your life. But I think we need to ask, like, do we really need that? And is that something I should be aiming for? Or should I maybe purposely set a lower goal? Because what I've found is that to live a really good life when it comes to money and just freedom in your life, it only requires about $10,000 per month. If you can just make $10,000 per month from an online business, a business that gives you a degree of freedom, you're golden and you're better off than most people in the world. Yet there's a lot of like business coaches and stuff out there that will tell you that that's not that much money and you should be aiming bigger and you should want to scale your business and grow it as big as possible, and you need to build a team and, do all these things to grow your business and make more and more money. And me personally, I'm a very big dreamer. I have very big goals and ambitions and a big vision for my life, and I know I can get there, but I realized recently, like, I don't need to get there to be happy. It doesn't matter if I reach those goals or not. As I get older, what matters more and more to me is just freedom. I want to be able to spend time doing the things I want to do, spend time with my family and friends. That matters so much more to me. So just to summarize this video real quick, just be careful about believing that success is harder than it actually is. Realize that it's just the small things that compound over time, and also realize that you probably don't need as much as you think you do in order to be happy when it comes to financial matters. So do the small things consistently, hit $10,000 a month with an online business, and you are golden. See you in the next one.